Alright, hey, what's up there, folks? Earthmaster here. October 7th, 2018, 4:55 p.m. West Coast time, and taking a look at the Caribbean satellite view here, infrared satellite image of the tropics. Got the Gulf of Mexico over here on the left side, and got a tropical storm called Michael developing right around the Cuba area. And Cuba just sitting south of Florida right there. This thing's spinning up over some very warm waters and definitely looking to strengthen over the next couple days, with possibly making landfall Wednesday in the afternoon sometime, right around the Panhandle of the Florida area, Florida Panhandle, right dead smack in the middle to be exact. So we're still watching this. It's still a developing tropical disturbance. It is tropical storm status right now. And taking a look at the most current conditions on tropical storm Michael, shows it at about the wind speed of 60 miles per hour, which puts it at a tropical storm category right there in the green box. Anything above 74 miles per hour and you get into the hurricane categories. This thing is expected to strengthen into a category 2 hurricane rather quickly. So this is something to watch. It is moving north at about 4 miles per hour, and excuse me, like I say, it is expected to strengthen rather rapidly. We'll see in the day tomorrow, Monday, and see exactly how much strength this thing builds up and how well defined it gets by Monday night. Good possibility I'm going to go ahead and start streaming coverage of this hurricane, as it is expected to make landfall right around the Texas Panhandle area. And according to this forecast here, we're looking at about 1 p.m. Wednesday for landfall. But of course, as with any hurricane, no matter what type of strength it is, we're looking at earlier conditions coming before that Wednesday 1 p.m. We'll see winds way ahead of that storm coming in. But it'd be interesting to see exactly how big this thing gets. Right now, weather models are showing and forecasting this thing to take that northerly direction and then ultimately take a turn towards the northeast in that type of fashion there after Wednesday, it looks like. So we are watching it. This other weather model forecast here I'm going to show you. You can see the upper level atmosphere conditions. Orange, or the orangish color, is indicative of high pressure in the region. We got a pretty good sized high pressure over here to the eastern part of the country. They're bringing in a lot of warm air, and of course that cool disturbance there with the jet stream dipping down into well into northern Mexico and Baja, and of course that includes Arizona and New Mexico and all the Intermountain West states right there. We're seeing a lot of wind here in Northern California just because of this pressure difference between the low pressure off to the east, and we got high pressure over here to the west, which is really giving us a really strong north wind. We've had that for the past couple days there, and of course we got a couple new fires out here right now, and that's not a good thing. It just seems to never go away. But anyway, back to Tropical Storm Michael. Putting this thing in motion a little bit, we can see this thing develop rather rapidly with that strong low pressure being picked up there on this map here, this forecasted computer weather map, and it develops rather quickly. It's going to be a quick moving system, but how much time does it have to build up before it hits landfall? And we're looking at the next 2 days. We're looking at all day Monday, all day Tuesday, and then part of Wednesday morning before it starts to reach landfall there at the Panhandle of Florida. like I say, looking on this map as well, we're looking at a direct forecasted hit for the eyewall region, at least for the majority of the storm, right around that central part of the Panhandle region there. Not too familiar with that area. Never been down there, but gosh darn it, I want to get down into that region of the world. Looks like, what do we got down there? Port St. Joe, East Point, Panama City. Panama City, a good bullseye spot on a couple weather models there. You also got Mexico Beach, Laguna Beach as well within that area that could directly get impacted. So we're watching it. I'm going to check these weather models out every hour, see if anything changes, but I will most likely be switching over to cover this live stream here with soon-to-be Hurricane Michael as it makes its journey over some warm waters there in the Gulf and strengthens into a possible, right now, Category 2, but a good possibility of it being Category 3 as well. Like I say, it's got a short window of opportunity to really make itself known here in the Gulf of Mexico. But most weather models, most computer tracking models are tracking this thing directly into these locations that I've just mentioned there in the Panhandle of Texas. So we got to keep an eye on it. No doubt, lots of rainfall forecasted for this region here in southern states. It's going to go well inland. Like I say, there is a high pressure system off to the northeast of the region there, which like I say, we'll just have to keep an eye on that. This pretty dynamic setup right here. We need to see how much energy this thing pulls up over the next 2 days to get an exact location and exact strength as to how big and how much damage this thing could do there to the Panhandle region. So you know, once again, right there we're looking at forecasted landfall right around 1 p.m. on Wednesday. Right now, gust 58 miles per hour, winds 58 miles per hour, north at about 4 miles per hour, pressure reading at 900 and what is that, 97? As of what is 7 p.m. Central Daylight Time today. And there he is, just sitting there. Looked like he's just starting to take a little spin right there, right on the last image loop right there. So we'll keep an eye on it, see exactly what happens. Like I say, it is definitely forecasted to strengthen and to make its way into the warm waters of the Gulf and ultimately eat up some moisture and dump it all over parts of Florida and other southern states down there as well. But like I say, we'll get into more detail as things progress, more likely tomorrow when we do a little bit more updating on that. Checking out the earthquake activity globe here. Lots of activity down in this region here that we were just talking about around the Caribbean and also into parts of Mexico as well. Some renewed activity over here, a couple fours there just south of the Baja Mexico region there. You can see all this activity, red indicating some older activity, pinkish, I guess it's kind of pinkish color, light red, is in between the newer activity and the older activity over here to the east. So we're seeing a progression of movement of these quakes right along this section right here. Nothing big. They did have a 5.9, which is actually a pretty good size earthquake right here. See this flag right here? 5.9 earthquake that occurring near Haiti. That was last night, I believe, sometime last night, at a depth of 11 kilometers. Now that's That's actually a pretty good sized earthquake right there for that region. We haven't seen that large of an earthquake in quite some time there in that region. I did see a couple news articles on this, and it didn't look too good. Damage is pretty destructive, and I'm not 100% sure on the death toll, but there's definitely been some reported in that region of the world. So, but that came in last night, I believe, late last night, super early this morning, I believe, when that 5.9 Haiti earthquake came in. But now we got a cluster, super large cluster of quakes taking place just right around the southern Mexico region there. And these things are kind of toppled on top of each other, indicating some differences in the depths of the earthquakes. So definitely some movement going on there. And then now the more recent earthquake activity with a couple fours here being reported just south of the Baja Mexico region there. And of course quietness extends up along the west coast into California, Oregon, and Washington there, with no earthquake activity, at least nothing on the moderate to major size. Checking out the most recent California, Nevada earthquake map here. Let me go ahead and refresh this thing. We'll check it out. Just shows some minor sporadic activity that we're typical of seeing here in California. A couple smaller, newer earthquakes down there in the red in Southern California area. Looks like maybe a little small cluster of them. But nothing major to report right now in the California area. The rest of the globe, as she spins, a couple earthquakes out here. I believe those were older ones from yesterday. Chile region seeing a couple earthquakes there, and some renewed deeper earthquake activity out here in the Fiji Islands region and south of there as well, with this 4.7 and a 4.5 occurring today. 4.7 right around the New Zealand region there. And then north of there, you got that 5.5 earthquake towards the Fiji Islands area. Pretty deep earthquakes, 211 for that one there near New Zealand. And this 5.5 here at 395 kilometers below the surface. And it looks like just right now we got a 4.1 occurring over here on the Pacific Ring of Fire, which is non-stop active, it seems like. Other than that, folks, I'm going to keep looking at some weather models for Tropical Storm Michael, and do an update video if anything changes. Like I say, it's a good chance I will switch the stream over to cover live soon to be Hurricane Michael as it makes its way towards the Florida area, Panhandle region. And I'll see if I can't find a couple webcams there to bring up as well, so we can watch this thing live as it makes its way there, and ultimately on shore or on land sometime during the day on Wednesday. In the meantime, have a good night out there, folks. Looks like it's pretty chilly up there in Yellowstone National Park right now. A lot of people wearing jackets, and a lot of steam coming out of the geysers right there. If you got any questions, any kind of concerns, you can send me a message there on Facebook, the Earthmaster. Or you can also send me an email directly, and the email is earthmasterofficial@gmail.com. You can reach me there pretty much any time of day. I'll try to get back to you if I can. But like I say, Facebook is the other option if you want to get a hold of me. Have any questions or any kind of concerns. Alright folks, have a good night. We'll chat you guys a little bit later. Stay safe out there.